along with his athletes, Gloria Ebanks, Tadashi Bent, and of course we have Tagarma Nelson. Right? Did I get that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I like that. Sounds good. So as you may have heard, it's been on flyers all over Cayman and on social media. The bodybuilders are preparing for the DFAC, which is the Drug Free Athletes Coalition Muscle Mayhem Night of Legends. Right? It's a bodybuilding competition. It's this weekend at Hotel Indigo. All right. However, in our second segment, we'll be hearing from Cayman Motorsports Federation President Jane Scaletta, along with sim racers Ian Charlery and Carol Iton. So let's hear a word from our sponsor, Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. Stay tuned.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Prescription refills made easy at Savannah Pharmacy. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
Do you know that conditions may change suddenly in an emergency and you may have to leave at a moment's notice? When a hurricane threatens, you should have a grab-and-go survival kit. This kit should include your personal identification and other vital documents, which should be sealed in a watertight pouch or container. For more tips and information, visit the Hazard Management Cayman Islands office or caymanprepared.ky. This hurricane tip is brought to you by Hazard Management Cayman Islands and Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Traffic again? What in the world is going on?
Find out by tuning in to Radio Cayman's Traffic Report, brought to you 4 times daily during rush hours following the news at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 12 noon, and 5:15 p.m. and brought to you by Subway. Need a meal on the go? Subway has 7 locations at Anderson Square, West Shore Plaza, and Industrial Park in Georgetown, Centennial Towers, West Bay, Reef Resort, East End, Countryside Shopping Village in Savannah, and in the Owen Roberts Airport Departure Lounge. No matter if you're running late, need to cater an event, or a staff meeting, Subway keeps you fueled with sandwiches, salads, pizza, wraps, and snacks. Subway, eat fresh.
Shaken yet standing firm. This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Alrighty, good evening once again and welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Xtra. I'm going to make sure I have these names correctly. Sorry. So we have Dale Davis. We have Gloria Ebanks is not here. No. So it's Tadashi. Tadashi Bent. Is Gloria, will she be joining us? You're not sure yet? Okay, that's fine. We will, she'll join us whenever she gets here. That's fine. And we have Mr. America himself. Yeah.
Mr. British now too.
Mr. British now too. Oh, you see. All right, sounds good. And Robert Thompson Jr. is here with us. We also have I said Tadashi. I did say. Yep. Okay, and Tagarma. All right. Okay, I gotta get those names going. Okay, some really unusual and lovely names in the studio here tonight. So, how is everyone doing? How are things?
Great, to be honest. Yeah.
Really good. Okay, so as you've heard previously, you guys are getting ready for Muscle Mayhem Night of Legends, the bodybuilding competition that's coming up this weekend at Hotel Indigo. Wow, that must be a nice atmosphere. Have you seen the setup or anything yet, or?
No, we'll be setting up on Friday.
Okay. Is this your first time competing?
My very first time.
Yeah. Very first time, and you're going to be in the wellness competition.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. What does the wellness category entail, and what exactly will the judges be looking for in this category?
Okay, so for wellness category, they're looking more for like fuller legs and glutes, small waist,
Okay.
square shoulders.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. You're in agreement with that?
Yeah. Wellness is focused more on lower body development than upper body development. So it's contrary to bikini, it's focused on the asymmetry between the development of the upper and lower body, as opposed to bikini where we look for symmetry.
Okay. Awesome. So, I wanted to shed the spotlight on the two newbies. But Robert came in. He's about to steal the show because because apparently he's not just Mr. America. He's Mr. British now too.
And Australia. So Robert is Mr. International. Just call it that.
Yes, yeah, for real.
Call it a day.
All right. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about that experience over the weekend.
So I traveled to London and went to Leatherhead, which is a small city or small town in London itself. So I hadn't been to the British finals before, so I decided to go and give it a try this year. I did have some battles with the time difference. I was sleepy when it was actually showtime, and that was very rough. So I had to start drinking coffee just to stay awake. But it was a very amazing experience. There was some, there's a guy I competed against in 2019 when we first were juniors in the bodybuilding scene, and it was a very sentimental moment to be on stage with him again 5 years later as pros. So that was like really, really, really good for me. And we actually are gonna compete again against each other again in Germany. So right now I have him 2-0, so we'll see how.
Robert, what sort of changes have you made, or improvements have you made to your training regimen since your last competition?
To be honest, this prep was a lot more harder. I guess that comes with age.
Are you feeling it now, huh?
Yeah. So I've been training a lot smarter. I've been listening to my body. When I need to rest, I rest. When I push, I push. So like those changes have like made like a dramatic difference in my physique as well. Compared to last year, I'm actually surprised or shocked the drastic difference between me competing last year and this year. Because last year I felt like I was good, but this year I'm like, wow. Like
you are wow. I mean, you guys need to tune into our YouTube, our Sports Extra YouTube, just to see Robert. He is wow, right? On Facebook, you have to see it, right? If you're watching it, it doesn't do any justice. YouTube, you have to come to Radio Cayman and see it. Okay, see all the muscles. He purposely wears these shirts for you guys.
I think he does it just
gym. So
yeah, whatever.
But I made some adjustments in relation to even my off-season approach as well. After shows, I normally just don't track my food. I just eat when I'm hungry because I'm not a big foodie.
Right.
I'm more hungry when I'm prepping, even though I'm eating a lot of meals. But I decided to actually track my meals after I finished last year's competitions, and I feel like that made the night and day difference. So I was thinking, like, imagine if I was doing this like all the years I've been competing, like what would I, come up with? What's
your protein intake like, and do you eat a lot of eggs?
Yeah. So I have during prep I was eating about 8 eggs a night, and my protein intake is around 240 to 260 a day.
Oh wow, yeah.
So a lot of chicken and fish. Yeah.
Sounds good. Go ahead.
Now, Robert touched on something there that I've been preaching for years, right? Whenever athletes are on the fence about competing because they say, I'm not big enough, or, I need to grow. I always tell them, I said, diet down, come all the way down, do the show. And I said, your body's going to be primed for that rebound, but what you put in is going to make a difference, right? And I said, food, there's nothing more anabolic than food if you use it right.
Right.
And I've been preaching that for years because what Robert's talking about now, that's what I experienced, right? You get insane amounts of quality growth if you catch that rebound when your body's ready for all the nutrients.
Okay, awesome. I like that. And Tagarma, you are in the men's athletic competition. Amazing. So share, I mean, I've seen it, but for those who have not and they're listening, share with us what does the men's athletic category entail and what exactly, are the judges looking for in this category?
Basically, this is my first time ever going to a competition.
Yeah.
I've never seen one before, but it entails like a good physique, upper body, lower body, a little bit of build, but more athletic, with a V shape, So I'm looking forward to see how my body gonna be react on the day of the show. So if I'm gonna be peak and get that V shaper in there, so have good arms, good shoulders, and good abductors and go that.
Definitely. What motivated the two of you to compete this year?
Well, for me, I've been working out for a while.
Okay.
I've always been very much into eating healthy and
it shows. You look wonderful.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'll give the guys their credit. I can give the women their credit too. You look beautiful. Go ahead.
Thank you. So yeah, I started working out by myself at home.
Okay.
Then I entered the gym. Then while I was training at the gym, people would randomly say to me you would do good if you enter a bodybuilding show.
Okay.
And I would be like, nah, that's not for me.
What part of it was not for you, you think?
Yeah.
What part of it?
Oh, so maybe the whole when I looked at people that did it and saw the hard training, the dieting, the strict dieting, I was one of those that said I'd never weigh my food, for example.
Yeah.
I was one of those. I was I would see people weighing their food out, and I was nah, I would never
I'm
do
with
that.
you. Yeah.
I cannot stick to all of that.
How you were then is how I am now. Yeah. I'm not measuring my food either. That's why I'm not entering.
Yeah,
I love my food. That's the battle. Go ahead.
But then I slowly started getting fall in love more with training harder. And
what about confidence? Did confidence play any role in why you may not have wanted to take part in it as well?
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
A little bit of that too.
So when you saw the results that built in your body and how beautiful it looks, that's when you said, hey, I can
the
do
more
this.
consistent I got with training and my food, the more difference I saw in my body, and I was like, wow, I want to see more.
Okay. Awesome. And how do you tailor your training to meet your specific requirements of the wellness division, I should say?
Okay, so for that, is obviously training a lot of lower body.
Yeah.
I don't like doing. I told Dale the first time I met him, I was like, I really don't like training legs like that much.
So why did you choose that category then?
Because it was recommended by my coach, Robert.
Him?
No.
What did you see by Robert?
Yeah.
What did you see in her to put her in that category?
Well, her legs are very well developed, and she has very strong glutes as well too.
Okay.
She has a very balanced physique.
Okay.
She could either do figure or wellness. I feel like she's too muscular for bikini.
Okay.
And based on the categories that are available this year for the Muscle Mayhem, wellness was one of the few ones that she could be able to suit or be suited for that.
Okay. Dale, let me hear from you about this particular event itself. Is it just locals or international?
We have 2 international athletes coming.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit more about what fans can expect this weekend.
So you can expect a lot of excitement. We will have, so it's going to be a change of venue. So there's that, different look and feel and everything, different ambience. We're changing up the stage backdrop. I'm not going to put too much details out there, but we're revamping the entire look and feel of the event. We always try to up the ante a little bit every year, and we will have all of the classes that we typically have. So we have men's bodybuilding, amateur men's bodybuilding. We likely end up with 2 classes in this show because we have a decent group of male competitors.
Okay.
We'll have men's pro bodybuilding, and one of the athletes who are coming in is a pro men's bodybuilder. And we're going to have women's bikini and wellness And one of the athletes who's coming in, she's also a pro bikini competitor as well.
Okay.
So those would be the events that, or the classes that you see on stage.
Okay.
And we're also going to have a couple of vendors or exhibitors on site. Grand Harbor Medical will be there, and 345 Activewear are going to be there with an exhibitor booth, so you can come out and check out their services and goods and everything else.
How many athletes in total?
21.
21.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you will be showcasing your muscles this
Yeah.
weekend as well?
I'll be in the pro category.
The pro category. Okay. Any particular why the venue change from Cayman Bay to there?
It's just for this year, and it was just driven by logistics. There was a bit of a double booking situation at Cayman Bay, so we had to shift.
Okay, sounds good. And can you share, well, let me just say, tell us a little bit about the process. What's the process like in planning and executing an event of this magnitude?
Oh, well, it's a lot. Well, obviously, the venue needs to be secured, right?
Yes.
And you have to deal with, a lot of red tape, insurance, logistics, especially with a new venue.
Right.
The hotel has certain requirements on, catering and all that stuff that you have to meet. And then you have to basically bring the entire circus to town. So, we have to bring in staging, which we don't have to normally do at Command. You have to bring in rigging, trusses for light and sound, the whole 9 yards, VIP furniture, we bring all that in, and get banners printed, do the whole social media thing. We have
press passes
artists
for Radio Cayman, yeah.
Press passes as well. And one of the things that we do every year as well is starting like a few months out, I get all the judges together.
Okay.
And we start looking at shows that have happened over the past year. We look at the criteria, and we pick some of the harder shows that where we want to assess how those shows are judged, just so we can get ourselves in that headspace and get refamiliarized with the criteria, so that come show day, no one is necessarily caught off guard, and you can execute as smooth as possible without incident. So, but there's a lot of work and preparation that does go into this.
Okay, sounds good. And Tagarma, could you share any specific techniques or strategies that have been particularly effective for you while preparing for this?
Well, basically, I just started to just do meal prep because I've never meal prep before, and then I follow my coach and get down to the T. So I just trust the process and just trust in the science while I go about doing it, and that's it,
Okay, what has been most challenging for you both?
The challenging part about it right now is like, sometimes my body, because I'm 44-year-old right now, I don't look it, but sometimes my body doesn't recover back in time. Well, so sometimes it's hard to push, especially legs day. I hate legs.
Okay, so he understands.
I'm not doing bodybuilding. I don't have to show my legs,
Yeah.
I hate doing legs.
Okay, so when you walk out, you're going to be in long pants?
No, but I'm not going to show.
You're going to be in short pants.
I'm going to be in beach shorts.
In beach shorts.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to see the legs.
Yeah, I love doing calves. I have good calves.
Yeah, nice calves.
Yeah, but like the thighs and whatever, I hate doing that, man. But hard to recover.
What can you share with him about recovery?
Rest.
That's it.
Yeah, just rest and just listen to your body. I used to be one of those guys that I had to be in the gym. Feel like if I missed a day, like I would lose my gains and stuff. But I realized rest is essential, and that's where growth is. It's not in the gym; it's when you leave the gym.
Right.
Yeah, you have to be deliberate about rest and sleep.
Yeah.
It's a big fail for me. That's all. My sleep. No, I don't sleep. I like night. I like late. And at home. Let me specify. What about you, Tadashi? What about some of the challenges you're facing currently?
Most challenging for me was dieting. Definitely. Having to be so strict with everything, because he gave me the option to count my macros myself and include things that I like to eat, or stick to the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have the time to think about this. Let me just stick to one thing.
Yeah.
So having to just eat the same thing all the time, eat this exact amounts, all of that been super challenging for me.
Can you describe your diet for us?
Mostly chicken breast, eggs, vegetables in general.
Okay.
Sweet potato, white potato. I used to have basmati rice, not lately.
A lot of starch and carb.
Mhm.
Okay. Is that a good thing?
It is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I like this. I can handle this. Oh, it's not for me.
It's
oh, it's not
about
for the ones
it's
trying to
about
lose weight.
portion size.
The portions, yeah.
Okay, I take that back.
The portions will change
Yeah.
over time.
Right.
Oh, you were just going down my lane right there. How the last time you guys were here, we were talking about posing, the importance of practicing to pose, and how strenuous that can be on the body as well, on the night especially. Have you guys been practicing, and what has that been like for you?
Yeah, we've had a few sessions.
Yeah.
I find it very challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, at the beginning I was like, oh my God, I do not know anything about this. How do I do this? Like, where do I start? It was hard for me.
So have you been practicing in the mirror?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
practice in the mirror. We go in session, as Dale said, and we practice in every opportunity I get. I practice a pose. Even when I'm at the gym, I strike a pose and then do a little flare to see if I can get the flare done, because the flare is
Right.
it's hard.
Yeah. Can you give them any examples and what to do to prepare with the posing aspect of it?
Well, as you know, practice makes perfect, and most of the time, well, for me, I would rather record myself and watch back my recordings of me posing, because we won't have a mirror on stage, and it's really important to understand like what that certain feeling feels like, and then if you hit that pose, you'll feel that when you get into that pose, so then like confidently, okay, I'm in it, so it's just to hold it now.
So, but usually everyone has the similar poses, or you can create your own pose.
So so everyone does what we call the mandatories during the comparison round, right? So everyone has to do the same poses, because that's how you can compare them. In the evening show, when they do the individual routines, then they can add a bit of personal flair and finesse. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. And Robert, can you share some of the key strategies you use to maintain peak physical condition leading up to major competitions?
So I ensure that my nutrition is in check daily, because it's a daily job. It's not like I remember playing football, I can go and party the night before and then wake up the next day and go and score
That's
5
when you were
goals.
younger, darling.
But even in general, like...
You're in your 40s?
No, not yet.
Not yet? Oh, we still have some time. We don't. we need recovery.
Exactly, we need recovery time.
Yeah, I like, even though I've reached to where I am in bodybuilding, it's still very difficult. It's a job every day. There's some days I really don't want to do anything, and I still have to get up. There's some nights I'm so tired, but I have to go and do my steps at midnight. Like, I wake up 5 o'clock the next morning and still do it all over again. But for me, I try to get my rest in as much as possible, and then ensure that my nutrition is in check. And then when I do feel like I need a break from the gym, I'll take a mental break, just to get back in, or I'll change scenery and go to another gym just to get a different feeling.
Okay.
So there's little tricks around it. The only thing is that I'm very strict when it comes to my food. I used to do flexible dieting, but I've gone back to the old school way, where just keeping things very basic, because then that way, if something happens, I know when to pull something and enter another variable, versus if I'm having 10, 15 different things, I don't know what's causing the reaction, and that's also why I diet. Well, I have 8 athletes I'm actually dieting for the show as well.
Okay.
And that's also why Tadashi is on a strict diet as well.
So, Robert, how does it feel to be going back now to defend your Mr. America title? And are there going to be any of those same guys that you competed against there this year?
There will be some competitors coming back, all Mr. Americas as well too. Last year I competed against the reigning Natural Olympia and the Mr. America holder. So it was nice to, had win by unanimous decision. So, but
Right.
this is a different group of people that are coming this time, and I know that I've done everything in my power to ensure that I'm ready. So, whoever comes, they have to make sure they're ready as well too. Because I left no stone unturned this time around. So
Awesome.
but the pressure is a lot. Like going for it is different versus trying to hold it. I feel like I have a lot more pressure and expectation on my back. So I think that's why this prep around I gave it 150% and more, because I wanted to ensure that I didn't leave anything left. I didn't leave anything behind.
Yeah.
So at least I know that I beat myself, and that's more than enough for me. So it's just for me to go and showcase that.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like he's going to win again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely.
We're going to speak it now. All right. So have you, it's almost time. So is there anything else that I may have forgotten to ask you guys that you would like to get out there to the public? And one last push maybe to get people in the seats. Sponsors.
Yeah, so I would like to encourage everyone to come out as we do every year. Cayman has a deep field of talent. I mean, we use the term genetically gifted, but we truly are. If you consider the quality of athletes that we produce and what they've been able to accomplish in the few years we've been doing this. So, come out and support your athletes. Get them all motivated to head off to Germany and win over there. And I'd like to definitely thank our sponsors. I want to thank Rubis, who's our major sponsor this year again. Kamana Bay, GNC, Green Machine, 105 Breeze 105.3 again has come this year to help us, 305 Activewear. So thank you to all of our sponsors. We truly appreciate the support. Without them, this show would be that much harder to pull off, to be honest.
Radio Cayman is very proud to support.
Thank you.
Yes, I will be there. Go ahead.
So also, because I've been getting a lot of questions about the timing. So there is a prejudging time, and
Early
then
in the
there's
morning.
also a night show, the evening show. So there was a little bit of confusion.
So what time exactly is the
So
prejudging?
prejudging is 10 a.m. We're on stage at 10 a.m. That'll run for about 2 hours.
Okay.
We break and then we come back in the evening. Be there around 6:30. We're on stage at 7 p.m.
Okay.
in the evening.
And what are ticket prices like?
Prime seats, which are very limited right now, are $75, and general is $40.
Okay. All right.
VIPs are just been sold out, which it's always sold out.
Yeah. And what about you, Tadashi, Tagarma?
Tagarma, yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
What? Any last words before you head out?
I just want to thank everyone for this opportunity, and I thank my coach for believing in me and trusting me, and see what I can go out there and do, and thank Liv for accepting my membership. You know what I mean? Because without a gym, I couldn't have done this, and without the food and the dieting and the help from Robert too, from Max and from everyone.
I have a big question for you. When we want our ads done at Radio Cayman, can we call on you?
Absolutely.
What a voice.
Yeah.
What a voice. That's a beautiful voice.
I noticed that as well.
Yeah, I did.
He has a good radio voice.
Very nice. Yours nice too.
Almost like the old Barry G.
Don't lie to me.
What about you? Any last words before you head out?
Yeah, I also want to thank my coach because he's been great. I was just telling him yesterday how happy I am because everywhere I go, people look at me and it's like, "Whoa, you look amazing."
The change.
Yeah, from the changes from I have to say like April till now.
Exactly.
And yeah, I'm very excited to just go out there.
And you can see the definition in you both, right? But we're not talking about you. You're out of this league. But before we say anything, you want to say before you go?
I hope to see everyone at the show on Saturday. Come and support your friends, your family. It's a very fun night out. It could also be very inspirational for future athletes as well too. Which it has been. I have seen newcomers because of coming. They have came and watched their friends or a family member. So I'm excited to be on stage, and I always look forward to competing at home.
We look forward to it too, Robert.
It's always a good feeling
We
because
do.
Friends and family only get to see pictures and videos, but being able to showcase my hard work means a lot to me as well.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. Very nice meeting you, and all
Thank
the best
you.
this weekend.
Nice meeting
It's
you.
going to be
Nice to meet
huge.
you too.
It's very nice to meet you guys, and I know you guys have worked really hard, so I know it's going to pay off come on the night.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bikini? Your
Wellness.
Wellness? Okay. Miss Bikini didn't show up. We're going to put her on blast. But all right, thanks again. We have coming up next, Cayman Motorsports Federation. Some exciting things going on in esports world, so we're going to hear all about it. Stay tuned.
For the Record with Ort Connor.
Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record into your home.
Hear from your government and community leaders on issues and events concerning the Cayman Islands and its residents during Radio Cayman's For the Record talk radio program, airing each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning from 7:30 to 10.
For the Record.
For the Record.
For the Record
Is brought to you by JN Money, from abroad to Yard. Fast, affordable, convenient. For more information, visit jnmoneyonline.com.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by CG Britcay. Insurance, health, pensions, life, where people come first.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its valued customers and the motoring public of wastewater infrastructure upgrade works along West Bay Road near Kintyre Drive, opposite Treasure Island. Preliminary activities will take place on Tuesday, October 1st, with the main works beginning soon thereafter, weather permitting. This work is anticipated to continue for approximately 2 weeks. During this time, the southbound lane of West Bay Road will be partially obstructed. However, Water Authority and its contractor will maintain two-way traffic throughout. Traffic signs will be in place in the general vicinity of the works. Motorists are asked to drive with caution and follow all signs when in the area to ensure their own safety as well as the safety of the Water Authority and its contractors' staff. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of its customers and the public as it upgrades its wastewater infrastructure and apologizes for any inconvenience caused.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecast, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
Annually, the Family Resource Center leads the anti-bullying campaign Stood Up throughout the month of October. This year, the campaign's theme is #CyberKindnessKY, pause before you post, and is aimed at raising awareness of the harmful impact of cyberbullying behavior and educating children on responding safely and empowering parents with effective parenting strategies to intervene against cyberbullying and victimization. Teens ages 15 to 18 years old and parents are invited to the Teen and Parent Safety Training being held on October 12th from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Stay informed and keep young people safe. Registration is required. Email frc@gov.ky for more details on this and their other Stood Up campaign details.
Radio Cayman, the forum of the people. Join me, Ort Connor, on For the Record on Radio Cayman. We put the tough questions to government officials, independents, and opposition members of our parliament. And from time to time, we revisit our storied past. Tune in on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. Reach out to us on 949-6990 or 1-800-534-8255. WhatsApp us 925-3261 or email talktooc@gmail.com. Your voice matters.
Radio station. Radio Cayman is the voice of the Cayman Islands.
All right, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra, and we're here with the Cayman Motoring Federation. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All
Good
right,
evening.
And here with us we have the Cayman Motoring Federation President, Miss Jane Scaletta.
Well, hello.
Hello. And I was just talking to her. I'm like, I know this face and I know this voice, and now that I'm seeing her, I'm like, oh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we go way back. We go way back. All right, and we have Mr. Carol Lighton in the studio and Mr. Ian Shallery. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
It's very nice to have you all on finally. So for those of you who are living under a rock and have not been listening to Radio Cayman Sports, you guys are heading off to Valencia, Spain, right?
Sure.
This month.
Yes.
Awesome. So you all will be representing Cayman in the esports arena. So Ian, you'll be competing in esports F4, and Carol takes on esports GT. Awesome. So of course we eagerly await this competition. It's October 23rd through the 27th. How are you all feeling about this? What are your nerves like? What has preparation been like? Tell us about it.
Okay. It's really been interesting, because to see how quickly esports has kind of elevated itself,
Yes, yeah.
especially since the pandemic. Everybody was stuck at home.
Mhm.
So, during that
point.
time frame, esports with regards to sim racing in particular, it jumped up. It got very, very popular. And shortly after that, in 2022, the FIA introduced esports into the motorsports games,
Right.
which is kind of like the motorsports equivalent to the Olympics.
Right.
So there are a whole bunch of disciplines there. And, we took it on as a hobby after the pandemic.
Okay.
And, since then we've just been trying to put the time in to develop and become more competitive. I think we've been racing competitively now 3 years now, Ian. I think it's probably about 3 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So during that time, how the esports platforms work are, you get a rating and you get a ranking, and as such, the goal is always to keep increasing your ranking. So
Right.
we've put in a lot of time over the last 2 years to be proficient in the sport. So when Jane approached us about the opportunity to represent Cayman, it was a no-brainer.
Awesome. Awesome. And Jane, what about you? What does it mean for your organization to have representatives at the FIA Motorsports Games?
Oh, I can't believe it's happening this
Yeah.
quickly, because we are a new federation, only 2 years old.
Okay.
And it took almost all 2 years to get the FIA approval for
Right.
our federation.
Right.
So now that we have that support,
Right.
it's amazing how quickly you can move through things, because they give you the opportunities.
Right.
And so Cayman is the first time. It's one of the new countries that are adding to the motorsport games this year.
Nice.
I think there are only 8 other countries that have added as well along with us. So it's
From the Caribbean?
no, not from the Caribbean, from all over the
All
world.
over the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I think we have 85 countries being represented now in the motorsport games.
Nice.
And of course, the motorsport games are we're talking about esports, but it's all the sports in motorsports.
Okay.
So you have the rally, the racing, the drag, the drifting, the go-karting. You have everything,
Okay.
right? But one of the easiest ways to get into motorsports.
All on the computer?
No.
No?
Real.
Real. Okay.
Real.
Okay. Okay.
We're talking real cars.
Real things.
That's
Okay.
right.
All right.
Yeah. But esports.
Esports is different.
It's-
That's on the computer.
And yes.
Gaming.
And it is the easiest way to get excited about motorsports.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, and so this was a really good path for us. Somebody has to be the first. It's us. And it's
Right.
going to be great. We're going to go. We're going to figure it out. We're going to find out what's going on. And we're going to do our best.
Do you know if anyone else in the Caribbean is taking part?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool.
Jamaica, Barbados.
Nice.
Yep. And they've been there before. So,
Okay.
so we'll be in good company.
Okay, awesome. And then what do you think, or how do you think Ian and Carol's participation will impact the local motorsports community?
First, I think it's really going to impact those who didn't realize that this was something that they could be involved in.
Yeah.
So I think it should excel the motorsport community.
Yes.
We all know Formula One.
Right.
All those guys practice day in, day out on their simulators, esports, to make sure that they can do it right on the road.
Right.
And so it goes hand in hand. So I have a feeling that we're going to see, especially since currently our raceway is under renovation, I think we might see even a further uptick in motorsports, especially in those that actually drive their cars.
Okay. Awesome. I want to hear from you two gentlemen now. And just sharing with us, for those who have no idea what this is all about, what's the F4? And you are doing, what is it? GT.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
you explain the F4 and the GT for me, please.
Okay, so the F4 car, everyone knows Formula One.
Right.
That's F1 car.
Let's hope so, yeah.
Right, and then there's F2, there's F3, and there's F4.
Okay,
F4 is it's not the starting series for the Formula Series.
Is it entry level?
It is one of the
Okay,
entry level.
one of them.
Right.
Okay.
And so this car is essentially done up with all of the physics. It's on the simulator. It's the same exact car. I've had people that I've spoken to that have driven the real car.
Okay.
And they've driven it on the simulator.
Okay, and they said it's the same. Similar.
It's terrible, just like it in real life. Right? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? So essentially, that's what the FIA F4 car is. And as I say, it's a single-seater car. It looks like a Formula One car. If you didn't know any better, you'd be like, that's a Formula One car, but it's a lot slower.
Okay.
And it has some nuances about it.
But the thing is, the trick, everybody's car is slow. Because it's
exactly
right. So it's not just yours.
Right, exactly.
Okay, good. All right.
Exactly.
And the GT.
Okay. In the F4, that's being run on a platform called iRacing, and the GT is run on a separate platform called Assetto Corsa Competizione. We have a
Can you slow that down for me?
Yeah, it's a mouthful. Assetto Corsa.
ACC.
Yeah, ACC for short.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a platform that simulates the FIA GT3 class of cars.
Okay.
And so those are production-based cars such as the Lamborghini, Huracan, Porsche 911, Corvette C8R, BMW M4, and what we're going to be racing at the games is a Mercedes, AMG GT. So much like the F4, everybody's going to be in the same class, same car, which kind of neutralizes any advantages, and then now it just is a matter of talent.
Right.
We don't even know what racetrack.
Correct.
Those are, and there's other nuances.
Select on the day.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
They'll tell us.
Okay. What inspired you both to take this up 3 years ago?
Because we live in Cayman and people can't come together
Just
to
the
actually
COVID.
do positive things for motorsports. 'Cause,
Okay.
like there are lots of egos involved in the Cayman Islands motorsports, so anything to do with coming together in Cayman, they just started, I'm that guy, I have to say what needs to be said.
Yes.
So the beautiful thing about what we do is nobody in Cayman is putting it on.
Right.
It's international.
Right.
Like there are days that I can go and I can do like 10 or 12 races.
Right.
I don't have to worry about anything. People will show up from all over the world. We're all trying to be respectful, and we're all trying to have a good time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how do you prepare for a major competition like this? Like, what has preparation been like for you both?
Lots and lots of laps.
Yeah.
But also, one of the good things about the esports space is the virtual cars actually have all the telemetry.
Okay.
So just like if you were in a real car, you could download the telemetry, find a coach, and they could tell you, you're not braking hard enough here. You need to work on your corner exit at this point. We have access to the same level of coaching. We provide them with the telemetry and the replays of our runs.
Are there cheat codes?
Not possible. Well,
I mean, there's
sure.
cheats in everything, right? There's cheats in Formula One. So,
But you'll get found out.
Absolutely.
That's the one thing.
Absolutely.
No cheating.
And at the games, the organizers provide the platform, so there's no opportunity for you to have any special hardware or, install any special software. You show up, they give you the platform, and you have to drive.
Okay.
So
And you sit in a simulator you're not familiar with.
Absolutely.
That's the hardest part. That's going to level
Absolutely.
everybody out.
Absolutely.
What has been most rewarding for you guys throughout this entire journey?
Well, I'll tell you, for me personally, because you asked what got us into it, I think both of us have been gearheads since we were able to get behind the wheel of a car.
Okay.
So there's always been that passion for cars.
Yeah.
And, having the opportunity to have tried to do some motorsports in real life, you realize how prohibitively expensive it is.
Right.
And, just how many things could go wrong, from a crashed car to a blown engine. And all of these things have huge monetary implications. Plus, just the simple challenge of logistics, moving
Getting
your car,
hurt.
getting there,
Yeah.
all of that stuff. We can jump on a track in Spain in the virtual space, race now, and then race one in Germany half an hour later, and then one in Japan half an hour later.
Yeah.
And there's no logistics. If we crash in it, there's no big bill. And so what it allows us to do is actually accelerate our learning curve. And one of the cool things about these platforms is a lot of times you don't actually realize who's going to be on the track with you.
Just about to
So
say that.
Yeah.
we've both had experiences where you jump in a server and they're esports pros and actual literal real race car drivers.
Yeah.
People who Max Verstappen is the reigning Formula One champion, and he's always esports.
I remember when basketball had theirs for FIBA. It wasn't 3x3. Yeah, it was 3x3. And there were NBA players playing, and they didn't know until they got into it. It was like, whoa. And they were really good too, as well.
Well, that's one of the things I love so much, because even this morning, I turned the simulator on, I jumped in, and I saw that Oscar Piastri was there.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Okay. See, look at that.
Yeah.
I've been on the simulator many times. I've been there with Max Verstappen, Rubens Barrichello, Fernando Alonso, Pietro Fittipaldi. So many drivers, real life drivers to here, and all you want to do is beat them. I just want to, beat them.
I just wish I could.
Yeah. It's real fun.
But you know what I want to say too?
Sure,
That they're just talking about the laps. There's also a mental workup for this. There's also a health workup for this.
Okay.
You can see these guys are fit. They're prepared. It's going to be nerve-wracking. So we have to control the mental of that side. They have to be healthy, because we are going to be racing over 3 days period, and you have to go the distance.
Right.
So it's the all-round get ready.
And to Jane's point, one of the things that I think people don't realize is how high your heart rate can go in the simulator. We both wear our biometrics, and it's not uncommon to jump in a simulator and see 120, 130 BPM on your heart rate.
Wow.
And he can tell you there have been times where you don't even realize it, but you get out of the simulator, your shirt is soaked.
Yeah.
You need a towel because you've literally been driving for 45 minutes. And it requires such intense focus.
Yes.
I read something a long time ago that talked about how many calories that chess players burn. And I find that, maybe it might be a little hyperbolic, but mentally, I feel like it is that same kind of stress, because you have to know exactly where you're placing the car, where your weaknesses are, where you're going to attack.
Any competition that requires you to use your brain. When we're sitting in our offices and we're working, and you get home at the end of the day, you're exhausted.
Absolutely.
So what's who's to go against the fact that you're exhausted by the end of playing any sport where you're sitting and just using mind power.
Yeah.
And I just want to add, just to give the perspective, like if you think about it, if you're doing the laps, right, and you're chasing time, so it keeps you very honest.
Right.
Absolutely.
Every single input, every brake, every steering, every single input is judged immediately, right? So for me, I have ADHD. This works perfectly.
Perfect for you.
I don't have to wait for judgment. Judgment
Absolutely.
comes to me instantly. Right? And as I say, it keeps you honest. So the when you try to push a little bit more, you'll pay for it. And imagine now, I've done like 2-hour endurance races.
Right.
And you have to stay focused.
Right.
For 2 hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
listen.
Awesome. What we're going to do now, we're going to take a short break, hear a word from our sponsor, which is Savannah Pharmacy Countryside. But when we get back, I want to talk about Gamers Bay, because you guys were recently showcasing yourself over the weekend, right? So stay tuned.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Prescription refills made easy at Savannah Pharmacy. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045. You can now renew your driver's license or motor vehicle license online, and you don't need an ESID number. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Visit www.dvdl.gov.ky.
We are Radio Cayman.
Covering Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
1 in a million.
All right, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. We're here with the Cayman Motoring Federation President Jane Scaletta. We have Carol Aitan and Ian Charlery here. They're heading off to compete internationally later on this month. And you guys had a nice experience at, are you cold?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You guys had I'm sorry.
It's a mindset. He's going.
You guys had a wonderful experience over the weekend as we were speaking off the mic with Gamers Bay 8. Tell us a little bit, share a little bit about that experience with us and the young ones and even the older ones that came in and joined you guys in the simulator.
Well, I mean, I don't think I'm being pretentious when I say that we probably had the busiest booth.
Yeah.
Over the 2 days. There
That's
was
good.
constantly a line. I think it was really cool to see the reaction to people because, you know, this was something that prior to a few years ago when prices started to come down, it was prohibitively expensive to get involved with. So for people to see the simulators there in front of them and actually have them accessible was a big source of excitement. And it was just cool to see, you know, people jump on. Of course, over the weekend, we jumped on and set benchmark time, so it was really fun to see everybody try and fail to get close to the times. And then there were a couple of times where we actually ended up on the track head-to-head, so that was fun also to see everybody watching that. But it was really cool to get the opportunity to expose so many people to something that I don't think they realized was quite as accessible as it is now.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And what about you, Ian? What aspects of Gamers Bay 8 were you most excited about?
Well, you know, it just reminded me that sim racing has many layers.
Okay.
And as sim racing is really still young, it's in its infancy now, and we still have some price prohibition. It's still a little bit too expensive.
Absolutely.
What I saw was so many new souls coming towards something, and they were like, wait a minute, they thought it was just a game.
Right.
And then they get on and like, wait a minute, this is a lot more serious than just a game.
Think,
absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
And then some people were competitive. They're like, okay, well, what's your time? I'm like, listen, if you beat my time, you can have the entire simulator.
You are heading to Spain.
I will deliver the simulator to your yard.
You're going to Valencia if you can beat me.
and only until when they get on, they're like, wait a minute, I'm going to need some time to be able to be this fast. I'm like, yeah, it takes years.
Time. Mm-hmm.
You know, it takes years to build up the skills. So when we started, there was nothing.
Right.
And to see where we are right now, you know.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
And Jane, we were talking about something off the air you wanted to touch on.
Well,
make sure you get that on before we head out.
That's true. First, I want to say it wouldn't be possible what we're doing without the FIA and their partnership with iRacing across globally. They've come together and offering complimentary iRacing codes to all of the federations to generate that interest in motorsport and in the esports.
Nice.
So we were able to do that. We put that iRacing platform on. We were in the F4 car, squirrely car.
Have you been in it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I quite like it.
It's a rush, rush feeling.
But what was great was two things.
Yeah.
One, you see young children, the 9 to 14-year-olds, realizing that this is a road, this is a car, and this is driving.
Yes.
And they really have to drive like they're driving a car.
Yes.
I thought that was a huge wake-up call for us, especially with the way that we do our driver's license, because you don't need any formal education of any kind to get your driver's license. And that's really great, that there's that opportunity. Two, this development and excitement of it and the access now, I think is going to help us with developing that esports community that we want to share and train for the motorsport games in 2026.
Okay, awesome. Maybe we should make it mandatory that when these kids are going to get their real license, that they get in a simulator
That's a
first.
great idea. It's a great, honestly.
Yeah?
It would save lives.
Well, actually, I'm working on a program like that.
Okay, awesome. See?
There we go.
Awesome. Sounds really good. Tell us a bit more about Spain, and have any of you been there?
Yes.
You have been there.
Yeah, I actually in a former life I did a lot of motorsports photography.
Okay.
So I spent a year and a half in England chasing GT cars all over Europe. So I went to a different part of Spain, a different track,
location.
Barcelona.
Okay.
But I've been there a couple of times, and the Spanish as a culture are, they're fanatic about motorsports.
About it, yeah.
They have Fernando Alonso, of course, as a representative in F1, but their culture, whether it was Carlos Sainz in rally or Carlos Sainz Jr. now in F1, they have a lot of idols. So, one of the things I'm hoping that we're able to do in our own ways is be role models and idols to our community, so that people can look at us and be like, okay, that's something we can aspire to do.
Right.
Because we got in this game relatively old. As Jane said, there are lots of really young kids who, if we can catch their interest in that way, in the same way that these other cultures have done, we might be able to develop that. So it's going to be cool to go there, learn all of those things, see it in a culture where it's been entrenched and bring
already,
that back,
Well, you guys spoke a lot about how expensive it is. Can you share a little bit about the pricing? What's the price range? If you can.
Sure.
Yeah.
You can get into it relatively cheaply, but as with anything, it can get away from you if you end up becoming addicted to it. But just to get in, a entry level wheel and pedal set and a wheel stand is a couple $100.
Okay.
Then you could probably use a PlayStation too. So maybe $1,000, $1,500 for a very, very basic setup that you use for someone who's
and your
a young
free
child.
iRacing license.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. But like our setups, like my setup is probably 5 figures, and his is probably multiple 5 figures.
Don't say that.
It's a beautiful road.
So it's it can get away from you. But what I realized is having had the experience of driving a car at the track, the cost gets, it gets justified very quickly. You don't have to put gas in it. You don't have to buy tires. And when you buy this equipment, you get to use it over and over and over. So it is a bit of an investment, but if anyone who's done any form of motorsports, it's one of those things where when things go wrong, you have to spend money, and in the sim, it's a whole different world. Like, you don't have that problem.
You press reset.
Absolutely.
New car.
Okay. I'd love to have.
New engine.
I'd definitely love to have you guys on again before you leave. And sometime after, of course, when you come back, just to share your experience. I think that'd be great.
Absolutely.
And you've been telling me for the longest time I need to try the simulator first
Yes.
before the show, Dionne. You need to try it first so you can have. It's a good thing I didn't, because I had all the questions to ask so the people can know what it's about.
True.
Okay,
If I tried, I wouldn't ask the same questions.
Next, you'll be able to tell them more next time.
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all so much for coming on. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you. And
Thank you,
I'll see you again before you head off to Spain.
Great.
Yeah, that should be great. Yeah, all the best with preparation and all that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's going to be
Appreciate
good.
it.
I'm excited about it. Right? I love esports. The sim racing, the basketball, the football, all that stuff. It's good stuff.
We're really excited.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. Good job. Well done.
Check.
All right, that's it for tonight's edition of Sports Extra. I'm your host, Dionne Anglin. Thank you so much. If you'd like the opportunity to be featured on our show, please feel free to email me at sportsextrakman@gmail.com. You can also check out our Radio Cayman Sports Extra social media pages and our YouTube page, of course, for tonight's edition as well. A special thank you, and I have to make a very special mention to our sponsor, Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, I'm Dionne Anglin. Good night and God bless. Thank you.
Sports Extra, brought to you by Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
Sports Extra. From 7 to 8 p.m., highlights of local sports around the Cayman Islands. Sports Extra.
It's amazing to see the improvement of the